Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you've probably seen by the title, I've decided to make a series of videos talking about different mental health problems. Now, I'm only going to be kind of addressing the issues that I've had like personal experience with because I don't really know whether I can talk about other things because I haven't really experienced it. I might change my mind, but not sure. But yeah, so as you've seen by the title, the first kind of like series I'm doing is going to be all about bipolar disorder. Obviously, this is something that I know quite a lot about and I experienced myself if you've seen my other videos. So yeah, I thought that I'd start with this because it's something I'm a bit more comfortable with opposed to some other topics. But yeah, so I've just gone onto the Headspace website, which is an Australian government-based organisation that helps with mental health. So yeah, they have centres all over Australia and they provide a lot of like free counselling and like help for all sorts of different issues. I've been there personally myself and have really liked their service. So yeah, I'm just going to be reading off their website because they put it in a very simple term that will be easy for everyone to understand. So statistic-wise, most people who develop bipolar disorder will experience symptoms by the age of 25. People can develop this later on in life as well, but a lot of the time it will have definitely come out, or by 25, I suppose. So with bipolar disorder, there's a lot of communication about what it is, which is why I wanted to make these videos. I know even myself with being diagnosed with this, a lot of people even in my personal life have not, they didn't know what it was, they didn't really understand it, the details of it, and a lot of like people can say things that can be offensive and hurtful, but they just don't understand, they're not educated on it, and if they haven't had anybody in their family or they don't have a friend or something who has it, it can be kind of they don't know anything about it. So yeah, for me and for my situation, it's not really genetic. Yeah, well, I don't think it is. We kind of have an issue with knowing family history because of some other reasons, but yeah, definitely not my parents do not have it. So yeah, it kind of, I don't know where it came from. It doesn't have to be genetic, but it is very strongly linked to genetics. So if you have a parent who has it, you are most likely, you have 50-50 chance that you're gonna get it kind of thing because it is a very genetic based illness. So yeah, it's normal to experience different emotions. Everyone does, everyone has mood swings, everybody develops everyone can actually have periods of depression. Nearly everybody will in their life experience a episode of depression in their life because life circumstances happen and different things happen, and yeah, so that can just be that's a normal thing that goes on. And experiencing different emotions and can be also very normal, especially if someone has died or a situation has happened that's kind of caused really intense emotions. But the thing is, those emotions will go away over time and they won't stay there, and they won't cause significant impact to your daily life. So yeah, these ups and downs are common and don't usually cause too many problems. It can build resilience, help us learn how to manage difficult situations, and prepare for any highs and lows of the future. Bipolar is different to general mood changes or anger outbursts. Someone experiencing symptoms of bipolar is going through specific challenges that are having a bigger impact on them. So basically they're saying it's really strongly impacting your life, which is any mental illness. To be diagnosed and meet the criteria of the DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, that's a lot to say, that psychiatrists and medical professionals use to actually make criteria and also diagnose people with. So yeah, in very basic terms, bipolar disorder is a type of mood condition in where people have times of low mood, clinical depression, and times of high or elevated mood, which is called mania. So everyone experiences this differently, although some people will only have one or two episodes and never have another one. Some people can have severe episodes very close together. Some people have years without symptoms between episodes, and becoming unwell. Some people can have just constant reoccurring episodes. So it really depends. Like, just because someone has bipolar, it doesn't mean that it is like kind of like, you know, like I think in a lot of TV it can be very like intense, and not everybody experiences it to that degree. Another thing that also, I'll be talking about this later on, but another thing that impacts bipolar disorder is using drugs and alcohol. That is highly linked with bipolar disorder, and is a very common comorbid condition that can come along with it. Just because, like, obviously if you're experiencing really bad highs, you're gonna want to, you need some, you know, like you feel like you need something to try to like calm yourself down and like kind of like level you out in a way, because if you're not getting treatment at this point, you don't know you have it, you're obviously going to be using other ways to try to like level yourself out. So since this is the first video, I'm just doing like an overview of what the disorder is, so you have a good idea of it. So I'm just going to explain what is a depressive episode. I don't think I'm going to really go into too much about my own personal thing, because I have made a lot of videos on this. I might just make a few comments. Most people know what depression is. A depressive episode is a period of lowered mood with changes in thinking and behavior that can last for 2 weeks. It has significant impact on the person's day-to-day life. Changes include feeling low mood, like feeling sad, irritable, tearful, losing interest in enjoyable activities, like, you know, not wanting to move from your bed, not finding like pleasure in absolutely anything. Changes in appetite, you may eat heaps, like binge eating, you may not eat anything at all because you don't have any appetite. So this can result in rapid weight loss and weight gain, lowered energy and a lack of motivation for absolutely pretty much anything. Changes in sleep pattern, and this I'll talk about later too. So trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or sleeping like all day or like more than usual. So it can kind of be any of those things. Feeling hopeless and worthless, this can even go to thoughts of suicide, and poor concentration and memory problems, because obviously when you're in that state, it's very hard to kind of hold on to any type of information. So now I'm going to say what a manic episode is. Obviously, like I said, everyone experiences different things. There are ranges of different categories of bipolar disorder, but I'm just going to talk about as a whole because it's just easier, less confusing. So a manic episode is a period of constant and unusually elevated high or irritable mood and a noticeable increase in energy or activity. So this can last for at least 1 week, although I don't know, like depending on different types of bipolar, but you can have it lasting from at least 1 week. It can be a few days, or it could be like weeks and weeks. Like some people it can be like months. So yeah, they might experience elevated mood, feeling euphoric, so high on top of the world, or very irritable. Less sleep is needed. Sleep is like, that's why I was talking about it before, I was going to mention it. Sleep is a huge thing if you have bipolar disorder, because if your sleep is going, usually everything else is going to go. At least personally for me, like my sleep is a very big indicator of something is going to be kind of going wrong. I've always had issues with my sleep my entire life, so that doesn't help either. But yeah, like making sure that you have good sleep patterns. If your sleep is going out, that can also be a very big indicator that you are going into like a manic episode. And also, if you're in this episode, you don't feel like you need sleep, like you don't feel tired. So at times, there have been times where I've gone on like 3 hours of sleep. This has been like for 3 weeks straight. And so yeah, it can definitely like, that is gonna mess with you anyway, not having that amount of sleep. And that can just cause more problems. Racing thoughts and rapid speech. So thoughts jumping from topic to topic. I've had times where it's been so crazy and so fast and chaotic in my head that I can't even like actually know what I'm thinking. I can't take a thought. It's just going like a whirlwind of things. You can speak really quickly. You can be very like, when you're socializing, you can be like extremely like loud and like just out there and very like everything's so exciting, and you're just like jumping from thing to thing, and the other person can't even talk because you're just like going. So yeah, and like speech can also be difficult for others to follow. Having more energy, activity and drive, like having a lot of like projects and plans, putting big goals in place, making big life decisions that you shouldn't be making in that mood, very impulsive. Also, you can do things that are very out of character. This can be anything from potentially harmful to yourself or other people, like sexual risk-taking, driving too fast, abusing alcohol and drugs, spending large amounts of money. It can be like a lot of other things, but they're just like the few main ones. Inflated self-esteem, you can feel like you are you have special powers, or that this can be like in extreme cases of mania, you can feel like you have like special powers, or that you are like an historical figure, or something like that, because it's kind of getting to the point where the person is delusional, and they're believing delusions and can be having like all sorts of like hallucinations and like things. People can often think this is schizophrenia, but it isn't. It's different. This is not schizophrenia is like based off hearing outside voices and stuff, and it just like the criteria is very different. This is more like psychosis kind of thing. Yeah, so you might think you have special powers or talents. Psychotic symptoms, so for example, hearing or seeing things that aren't real, hallucinations, or having strong beliefs about something that's not real, i.e. delusions. These may usually match the person's elevated mood. So for me, the experiences I've had a couple, but the main experience that I had is where I was thinking that my thoughts were controlling like circumstances and events. So I thought that there were some things like stressful things happening in my life, and I thought that my thoughts were creating them, because I'd had some like random thoughts of like, they're coincidental, but in the moment, in that time, I was like, no, that's not coincidental, like I've caused this. So like something happened at work, for instance, and I had a thought the day before saying, like I'd been really badly abused by a customer, and it was very, very scary. And the day before I was thinking, oh, like nothing like that's ever happened to me, like I've been pretty lucky. Then the day after that happened, but because like, and then like there were a couple other things that happened, and obviously it's coincidental, but I was like 100% convinced that I was causing these things to happen, that my thoughts were making them happen, that my thoughts were making other people do things. And I was getting very like paranoid about stuff and getting very like upset, because I was like, I'm causing all these bad things to happen, like, you know, like that type of thing. And I was getting really distressed about that, and I would tell people in my life that that's what was happening, and they would be like, no, just coincidence, like it happens to me all the time. And I was like, but this has never happened to me in my life before. And so yeah, like I would tell like my friends, or I'd tell like my family or whatever, and they'd, you know, my treatment team, and they'd be like, no, like it's just coincidental, you're not causing it, like that isn't realistic, you don't have that ability. But to me, I was like totally convinced. So that's an example of like delusion, but there can be a lot of different delusions that people can have. I tried to keep this video short. That's just like a very brief summary of what bipolar disorder is. That's going to be it for the first video. If you have any questions, like just leave it in the comment section and I'll answer it. Also, my social medias are down below, so if you wanted to like send me a personal like question or a DM, like totally, you know, up for it. I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody who is living with this, and I thought that it'd be helpful for people to have this type of information, because I know that on YouTube and even on the internet, there is not a lot of personal experience in this. Everything is very like medical textbook kind of stuff, a lot of old videos as well, and there's just not really much like based around like somebody actually having the personal experience. Like even in my own life, I only know one other person who struggles with bipolar disorder. I don't know anyone else. So yeah, I thought that it'd be really helpful for people to kind of have like that extra personal information. Stay tuned for the next few videos, because I'll be talking about different topics. So if you want to listen to that, then just keep checking my channel. I'm going to be posting videos regularly, maybe twice a week. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and leave any suggestions or comments down below. Hope you guys are all staying safe, and I'll see you in my next video.